Hello, friends, and welcome to Elements and Alchemy, the podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Johnson, sharing the astrological, lunar, and tarot influences for the next few days of March 19th through March 22nd, 2019. Welcome to another midweek edition of the podcast. Just want to first off thank you all for your patience as, Mercury has been retrograde and things are moving around. Life is getting a lot more full. I don't want to use the word busy because it's not necessarily that I'm any busier, but it's most definitely that life is getting full. Like my days are very full, my time is very full, my cup runneth over right now. And it's a really beautiful thing, but it's also meant that I've had to adjust a lot of things. And the podcast, as far as being able to tap into spirit and having that space of time to just be quiet in the house. I mean, I'm talking legitimately quiet with nobody here. And also, quiet within myself to be able to tap into what's necessary for right now. And, just getting into that space, it's been a little bit difficult with all of the fullness and the changes that are happening. But also I want to bring this into, everyone's awareness and attention is that I know that I mentioned this at the beginning of this lunar cycle, a couple weeks ago. In fact, maybe even before that, at the end of the Aquarius lunar cycle, as we were about to move into the new moon in Pisces, I mentioned that we're in a space of letting go and letting God and really, really having the unseen hands work in our favor, having spirit work on our behalf. And pretty much, I have to say, because, I've been kind of stressing about, like I said, fulfilling all of these things and getting everything done. And it's Spirit had to say to me, this is part of the unseen hands. It's part of the work that you don't see. It's part of what we're doing and lining things up that you don't see. But also, even astrologically, a lot of the aspects are things that they're subtle. They're subtle aspects. And I mean, I could say, this semi-sextile, will do blah, 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 or, this quincunx will do blah, 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 or this biquintile will do blah, blah, blah. But the fact of the matter is, because it's spirit working, okay, and this is spirit's domain right now with all of these more subtle aspects. I don't like to call them minor. They're actually quite major because they provide the framework that we live in and do all the, the really major things that we can see, like the trines and the conjunctions and the sextiles and the squares. Those are the things that we're actively really, really living out. But on the subtler realms, those other subtle aspects, they're higher vibration, they're higher frequencies. And so those are going to play out differently for each one of us because it's all unseen. Okay, so I can't really say what is going to happen or what might happen or how we might feel because this is spirit moving on each one of our individual behalf. That it's moving for each one of us individually in a certain way and moving things along and moving things around. So I really want to say that there actually just really hasn't been that much astrology to talk about, to be really honest. The moon has been doing a lot of work. And if we look at the moon as the agent of the soul, okay, the sun is the agent of spirit, which is our consciousness. The moon is the agent of our soul, which is our unconscious, and it's our feelings and how we process things. Okay, and I've said this time and time again that we process so much through our feelings. That's how we get information as human beings. It's our feelings that help us, that help build our intelligence. It's our feelings that build our memories. It's our feelings that build our experience of our lives. So that's why the moon goes around the zodiac every 28 days, because that's it's growth for our soul. Our souls grow in these different manners through every moon cycle. Our souls are in a particular period of growth that has to do with a particular theme, overarching, that we're all going through. So the moon has been very active because our souls are very active. And this is really, really important because it is Pisces season and Pisces rules the soul. Okay, Pisces rules the soul, and the lunar cycle that we're in, which began with that Pisces new moon 2 weeks ago, we're really, really in the soul waters. Okay, and we are really, really experiencing soul growth. Okay, and our souls are reconfiguring themselves. Okay, each one of our individual souls is reconfiguring itself so that we can allow something new to be birthed really, really soon, especially as, the sun's about to move into Aries tomorrow. So we're really on like this big soul, this push to really understand what our souls want right now and to allow any pain that the soul has been carrying. Chiron just left Pisces, so that's the pain of our souls, the wounding of our souls. Now that Chiron has moved out of Pisces and into Aries, we're dealing with a different set of circumstances that are healing. But because Mercury's retrograde in Pisces and retrograded on that final degree that Chiron was on, 29th degree, and is moving back to the middle of Pisces as of next week, and then coming back through, this particular retrograde is really, really about aligning, okay, like understanding what we've healed first. Okay, let me back that up. Understanding what we have healed, how far our souls have come. That's really, really what this retrograde is about. It's about understanding how far our souls have come. Okay, because a lot of times, especially when you're under a lot of duress or like having a lot of traumatic experiences, or even just under a lot of like just stress and pressure, and the ground beneath you keeps shifting and things keep coming down, and no matter what you build up, it falls down, and people are leaving and people are coming in, and and this has like been everybody's life in some way, shape, or form in some area for the last 9 years. It's been a lot of breakdown, and our souls have been under a lot of stress. Okay. And when you're under that kind of stress for that long, that becomes your normal. Okay. That's how you begin to function, and we start to lose trust in the process of the universe. Okay. We start to lose trust in the process of spirit. We start to lose trust in the process that is higher than us. Okay, and what this retrograde is really asking us to do is to remember that trust. Remember the trust. And that's why I keep saying, let go, let God. Don't ask how. Don't, just allow the unseen forces to work on your behalf, because that's really what we're supposed to do right now. Okay, this is like a reset for our souls because we've been through so much. It's like, the universe is not harsh. It's not mean. Okay. It's like, yes, you guys have been through such a process of growth. Now rest and remember that we're here for you. Okay. Remember we're here for you, and look at how far you've come, because we're about to bless you with something new. Okay. So that's what's going on right now. And the other part of this, soul evolution thing, and, what I was talking about with the moon, and the moon having all of the aspects, any major ones for a lot of the days, is also that this particular lunar cycle, since the Pisces new moon 2 weeks ago, each one of these lunar cycles, each one is the day where there's the most aspects. It's actually on the day of the lunar change. So the new moon, we had the most aspects that day. Last week, the first quarter square, the most aspects on that day. This week, tomorrow's full moon in Libra, that's all the aspects for the week almost. Okay, and I think it's the same way next week when Mercury goes direct. I think there's a bunch of aspects on that third quarter square. So it's a lot that we are emotionally processing. Our souls are dealing with it. We're letting go. Our souls are letting go of the old. It's letting go of the old pain, realizing how far we have come, and adjusting. And this is where Mercury's retrograde comes in, because Mercury is right now retrograding through Pisces, and it's our feeling mind. Okay. And it's holding this concept of what it is that we want to bring in. What is this dream that we're in right now? We're in the dream sequence lunation, and it's holding this concept of this dream that we have. Okay. But if we've been through so much and our souls are kind of traumatized, okay, if our souls have been traumatized to a point where we've kind of forgotten what trust looks like, we've kind of forgotten what surrender looks like, we've forgotten what reciprocity looks like, we've forgotten what comfort feels like, okay, we've forgotten those things because we've been under so much turmoil and so much change and stress that Mercury is allowing us, at each time the moon goes through one of the signs and begins a new cycle within that sign, and begins anew, a new cycle in each sign. The moon, every time moon hits 0 degrees and comes into contact with Uranus, it's beginning a new cycle within each sign, so that we can start building for this healing. And also 0 degrees is where Chiron in Aries was as well. So every time it was like hitting that 0 degrees, and we're having like a new cycle of healing begin. Okay. And that's what this is about. It's about that cycle of healing and changing, allowing our soul's agent, which is the moon, like I said, to provide this information. And Mercury's taking it in, and it's like, oh, okay, we can change some concepts of our lives, because the concept informs what it is that we dream about. Okay, what we take in through our minds is what, and our feelings is what that's what we dream about. That's what informs the contents of what we believe is possible for ourselves. Okay, and when we were talking about the blueprint and what it was that we wanted in our overall vision, it's now being like whittled down to what it is that we actually really, really want, and what it is that can actually really, really come into play. And it's bigger than it's bigger than our wounding. Okay, it's bigger than our trauma. It's bigger than all the turmoil that we've been through, in whatever way that we've been through it over the course of the last 9 years. It's bigger than that. And that's what this is about. This is about resting. This is about our souls remembering that there is a higher power, there is a higher intelligence, and we just need to only sit back and watch that intelligence work for us, and allow our minds and our hearts and our souls to come to a place of balance and equilibrium. Okay, so that we can take on the next leg of this journey that we're about to be on. Okay, and now that we're talking about equilibrium, okay, let's talk about the full moon in Libra tomorrow. Okay, today is Tuesday, March 19th, and there's not a lot going on in the skies. Like I said, even the moon's not making any aspects today. There's like really not much happening. We have Mercury semi-sextile Venus, which, semi-sextiles it's an opportunity. Sextiles are opportunities. Semi-sextiles is the building of an opportunity. It's the building of something that is going to be available to you at some point. Okay, so this is semi-sextile. Over the weekend, the moon was just in a lot of different phases and doing a lot of different things. So we had a lot of different emotional responses, okay, and starting a lot of different emotional cycles, okay, over this weekend through Cancer and Leo, and now in Virgo as of yesterday. So we're in different cycles. We're just beginning different cycles of emotional nurturance. We're beginning and sustenance. We're beginning different cycles of emotional expression. And now we're in a process of beginning a different cycle of emotional, like what we manifest emotionally. Okay. Virgo's about manifestation and how we do things. Okay. So that's where we are right now. It's like this manifestation, because a lot of the things that we do manifest in our worlds are based on our emotional state. Okay, if we are in a high state of fear, that is usually, we will generate situations and circumstances that will keep us in that high state of fear, because that's where we're vibrating. Okay, that's where our emotions are vibrating. Our emotions are the vibrations that we put out into the world. Okay, our thoughts are the vibrations that we put out into the world. So that's what comes back to us. So this is really like, as we begin to relax in and remember that there is, we are held by spirit, we are held by source. Okay, as we begin to relax in, then what we begin to manifest from our emotional core begins to change, because it begins to match something that is in a state of comfort, okay, and in a state of balance, okay? So that's what we're looking for. And yeah, so like I said, today there really isn't much happening on any level. It's a lot of very, very subtle aspects, lots of subtle aspects, lots of adjustments that need to be made, lots of opportunities that are being built, lots of creative, tension that's being generated so that things can begin to move. Okay, so that's where we are right now. We're in a state of, and we can feel it. Okay, I really want to also reiterate that we can feel that something is happening. Okay, we can feel that something's happening. We can feel that. But the thing is, it's like, just let go. Let go. Let your soul rest. Let your soul reset. Let your soul remember that it is held. Remember that you are a child of the universe, and that the universe is the best parent that we could possibly ever have. Okay? Source is the best parent that we could possibly ever have. And no matter what happens, it is for a higher purpose. It is for a higher reason. And allow Source to do what Source does for you. So, Wednesday, March 20th, which is tomorrow, we have the sun at 29 degrees Pisces. Okay, and the sun being at 29 degrees Pisces is important, not just because it is the last degree of the zodiac. Okay, 29 degrees is the last degree of the zodiac. That's it. Then from there, we start back at 0 degrees Aries and we begin all again. It's the degree of what they call the ultimate sorrow, and not because it's a sad, sad degree. It's because that's the degree where, and I've said this before, in Pisces, it's the soul. The soul is everything. It's all of our emotions. It's everything that we feel. It's all interconnected. It's where we're connected to everyone and everything. Okay. All of the thoughts, all of the feelings, all of, everything that is possible is in the soul waters of Pisces. Okay. And we're connected to it all. All right. The 29th degree of Pisces is, the sorrow comes from understanding that it's that, not understanding. I don't want to say understanding. It's feeling the pull. Okay. It's feeling the pull to individuate. Okay. That's what the 29th degree is about. And that's why it's the sorrow. That is the human sorrow that we all carry, is that we are all connected in this vast, vast universe, and we are all connected to each other. We're connected to everything, all of creation. Okay. But it is that it's when the spark of divinity within us desires to experience itself, okay, in a particular way. Okay, so it's like in this sea of interconnectedness, all of a sudden something gets sparked in one of the beings, or one of the thoughts. Something in that sea says, you know what? I want to experience life in this particular way. And that's divinity, okay? That's divinity deciding to experience life in a particular way, and then it breaks away. Okay, it breaks away from the all. It breaks away from the connectedness, okay? And to go its own way and have its own experience through the zodiac, okay? So that's what the 29th degree of Pisces, that's the sorrow. It's breaking away from everything that you're connected to, okay? Everything that you're connected to experience your life on your own, All right. And it's, like I said, it's on a collective scale. So that's like I said, the soul and, spirit coming through the soul waters and saying, I want to experience myself and I'm going to be born in Aries. Boom. Okay. So the 29th degree of Pisces also, because this was, Chiron just left this degree. Chiron was there for a while before moving into Aries a couple weeks ago. And as soon as Chiron left, Mercury stationed to go retrograde on this degree. Okay, and this is what I was talking about a few minutes ago. This is what we have been working with. This 29th degree, this decision to break free. Okay, this decision to break free and being okay with that, knowing that we are not disconnected just because we choose to move forward. Okay, and it's been a lot of, like I said, soul trauma. It's just a lot of, and I don't want to say trauma, not because people like really overuse that word right now, but it's a lot of turmoil for our souls the last 9 years. We've been through a lot, and that 29th degree can kind of bring all of that to a head. Okay. It can bring all of that trauma to a head. And that's kind of what Chiron did when Chiron was on that degree. Last month in February and the end of January, Chiron brought all of that wounding, all of that turmoil. Okay. And it might even have not even been like, this lifetime. I know for myself, it was like some stuff that happened in other lifetimes. But it came all to the surface, and it was like just kind of sitting there. And I didn't understand at first. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay. Like this is all my wounding. It's all right here. Okay. And it was like, all right. And then Chiron moved into Aries, and then Mercury went and sat on it. And now it's like, think about it. Okay. Think about it's old wounding. All right. And when Chiron is on a thing, Chiron is about wounding, healing, and transcendence of the wound. Chiron never actually healed. Okay. So it's healing in the sense that your wound is there, but it is acceptance of it, okay? And through the acceptance is how you transcend it and heal it. The healing is in the transcendence of it, okay? It's not saying that it did not happen, okay? It's not saying that you don't remember it, but what it is saying is that the healing is in the transcendence, okay? And the moving beyond. This is where Chiron gets, like I said, it is about healing, and we can heal through Chiron. I don't want to say that that's not true, but it's also when we start talking in different places, a lot of times people want to talk about healing. It's like, okay, well, that's done. And yes, it is like you are healed, but you are still marked by the experience. Okay. And that's where the transcendence comes in. Okay. Are you going to allow yourself to remain marked by that experience? How are you going to allow yourself to be marked by that experience? Are you going to allow it to pull you down? Or are you going to allow that experience to lift you up? Okay, and that's the choice of Chiron. All right, we can transcend and be lifted up, or we can stay in that experience and be pulled down by it. Okay, so it's our wounds and what we choose to do with them. All right. And so now the sun is at this degree. Okay. And the sun, like I said, we're in the dream sequence. This is the lunation that we're in since the Pisces new moon. And the sun is at 29 degrees now, carrying the consciousness. Okay. The consciousness of this dream that we hold for ourselves. All right. The sun is carrying it. And it's now at the 29th degree of Pisces, where Chiron brought up all the wounds and Mercury went retrograde and is asking us to rethink the concept of this dream now that we are transcending our wounding, now that we have acknowledged our wounding and have chosen to transcend it. What is possible conceptually for us now? What can we do that we could not conceive of before? Okay. What are we now able to open up to that we had no concept we were even capable of previously? Okay, that's what Mercury's doing. And now the sun is there. And the sun is this consciousness. Okay, it is the spark of spirit of this dream. Okay, we're getting that healing. Okay, our consciousness is transcending the wounds and the turmoil of the soul on this degree. Okay, I hope this makes sense. Okay, but our consciousness, which is holding the dream, our dreams are now allowed to transcend what was previously possible for us. Okay, that's what this 29th degree is about right now. It's about that transcendence. Okay, and moving beyond where we've been. Okay, because once we do that, Chiron offers us the gifts of not just healing ourselves, but healing others. And Chiron's also the bridge to the higher octaves of connection. Okay, the higher octaves of being and thought and soul and creativity. Chiron is the bridge to that. So once we choose to transcend, we've now leveled up. Okay, that's what this is. We've leveled up. All right. And that's why it's really important. That's why Spirit's, I guess, having me say all of this. Because once the sun gets to 29 degrees Pisces tomorrow, we're leveled up. Okay. Consciousness wise, we are leveled up. Mercury's about to complete the retrograde journey as of next week and doesn't have much farther to go and is already in orb of Neptune, which is where Mercury's going to stop right on top of Neptune. And that's our concept of this dream that we're holding, going, being inspired. It's a new inspiration for this concept. Our concept is getting a new soul. Okay, we're leveling up because this dream that our consciousness is holding on this 29th degree of Pisces tomorrow. Okay, it cannot be, we can't be the people that we were before. Okay, and this is the level up. This is the level up. This is where we go to the next level. And yeah, so we're going to go to the next level, and then the sun is going to move into Aries. Okay, so it's like us understanding that we have understanding in our consciousness, understanding consciously, not just unconsciously, not just through our intuition and our minds, but becoming deeply aware. Okay, deeply aware that we have transcended. Okay, and that we are not only, what am I trying to say? That we've transcended our wounding, we've transcended that turmoil, we've transcended everything that our souls have been through, whether it's been through this lifetime, through many lifetimes, whatever it is whatever we were supposed to learn in the last 9 years of Chiron's journey through Pisces, Uranus's journey through Aries, we have transcended that. Okay, that's what that's what our consciousness is coming to, and that's how this also ties in to the moon's journey, because like I said, on an emotional level, our souls, okay, our unconscious is it's also leveling up, okay, and it's been leveling up, okay, so we're in a space of like really, really bumping ourselves up to a new experience of our lives, new experience of our beings, okay, and as the sun moves to 0 degrees, still holding that concept of this dream. Okay, still not holding the concept, holding the consciousness of this dream for ourselves, this dream that we want for our lives, how we want our lives to be. Okay, holding this dream, and this dream, it's coming into being. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I know for my own life, I'm sitting back and I'm watching Spirit move things for me. I'm watching Spirit move things, and I respond if it feels right. If it does not, if things don't feel right anymore, then I do not respond, because those things are not matching my vibration anymore. I know through my feelings, because it's Pisces season and also because I'm a Scorpio. But I know through my feelings, and this is what we're also learning with Mercury being retrograde, through our feelings, we know what's right for us. Okay, we know what's right, and we know where spirit is lining things up for us. Okay, we know that. So as the sun moves to 0 degrees Aries, that's birth. Okay, when you move from the waters, okay, it's literally like being born, moving from the water, the waters within the placenta, okay, having that water break, and, the process of birth begins, the process of being birthed into a new individual, a new self-actualization, okay? That's 0 degrees Aries. It's a new individual. It's a new cycle, okay? It's a new cycle for us. And being, coming into that, and then being right next to Chiron, it's not just a new cycle of us as individuals, okay? And like I said, our consciousness as a dream right now, okay? Because our consciousness is holding what we want, okay? We know what it is that we want. And we're getting ready to birth it. The waters are breaking, okay? And it's by our sheer will, okay? Aries is the will. Our will is activated now, okay? Once the sun moves from 29 Pisces to 0 degrees Aries, it begins the process of birth, okay? And it begins and the process of birth is, yes, it's a lot of different factors, but it is the sheer will, okay? It is the sheer will of creation to experience itself that causes birth to even happen, okay? It is will, all right? And Aries is about your will, your intention, your motivation, okay? To go after something, to move towards something, okay? That is Aries, and that is what is happening. So we're beginning the process of birth at 0 degrees Aries. And with it being next to Chiron, we're beginning the process, a new cycle of healing. Okay, this is a new cycle of healing that we're about to embark on as well. Excuse me. So yes, we're embarking on this whole new cycle of healing with this equinox tomorrow, okay? As soon as the sun hits 0 degrees Aries and is going to be right next to Chiron, it's brand new, okay? We're leaving that old cycle of healing behind, and we're beginning a new one, okay? And this one is going to have to do with the healing of our will, okay? All right? The healing of our will, the healing of our drive, the healing of our motivations, the healing of the actions that we take, okay? To align them even further with our highest. And I don't know what that means, okay? Because it's going to play out differently over the course of the next 9 years for each one of us. But it is the healing of our will. It's the healing of us as individuals. Okay, before it was a soul wounding, now we're dealing with the individual wounding and individual healing. Okay, so we're going to heal ourselves as individuals. All right, after going through this whole process. Okay, and then the moon. Ta-da! So the moon's doing a lot of stuff tomorrow, okay? The moon is still going to be in Virgo at the start of the day, and the moon in Virgo is going to oppose Neptune in Pisces. Okay, so the moon in Virgo, like I said, is about our emotional manifestation, okay, and what it is that we want to, what it is that we manifest based on our emotional state, okay? And I gave the example, if you're in a fear state, or if, you will manifest in your life things that will keep you in a state of fear, okay? Even if you don't want to believe that, it is so true. But, okay. And Neptune in Pisces is, Neptune is in its home sign. in Pisces. Neptune rules Pisces. Neptune rules our creativity. Neptune is the soul, okay? It's the soul, all right? It's deep creativity, highest love, the ideal state of being, okay? That's Neptune. And our emotional, it's like understanding what we could, Neptune's holding what it is that is our ideal, and the highest thing, the highest love, the highest possible dream that we hold for ourselves. Neptune's dreams. Neptune is like the highest possible dream, okay? And the moon in Virgo opposing Neptune, which is, like I said, it's oppositions are about relating. How can we relate, okay? And they Virgo and Pisces relate through perfection, okay? Pisces is the perfected soul, okay? Virgo is the perfected soul work, okay? Here in Manifest Reality, Virgo's trying to bring that soul perfection down into the physical, all right? So on an emotional level, we're going to be looking, it's like kind of perfecting our, like refining. Virgo's also about refinement and discernment, okay? Discerning our emotional state and understanding how our emotional state, okay, will call in the ideal that we seek, okay? All right, I hope that makes sense. So it's understanding, and it could be like, I don't really know how any of this is going to play out. I feel like this particular lunation, there's so many different ways that this could play out because this is Pisces. It's like the collective everything, all the collective possibilities. So for each one of us, this could play out differently. But I do want to say that, dealing with that opposition is remembering, first off, there is a perfected ideal, okay? And what we deem perfect on planet Earth in our physical reality as human beings is not perfection, okay? It's not perfection. Perfection is what is. Okay, what is happening is perfection because that is divine. Whatever is happening is supposed to be happening, and that means that it is perfect. Okay, and I feel like that's kind of where we need to adjust ourselves emotionally. Okay, and even to understand that any emotional state that we are in, to discern those emotions, but not to hold on to them, because what Virgo can tend to do is like detach a bit from their emotions, to analyze them, to perfect them so that they're it's perfectly packaged emotional, and we can't have that. Wherever you are, okay, honesty is perfection. Okay, honesty is perfection. All right, and it's honoring that and understanding that that is how you get to your ideal. Okay, perfection is in every moment. All right. And I'm saying this as a perfectionist, self-proclaimed. Okay. Actually, not even self-proclaimed. Other people have said it too. And it's something that I'm working on, but I'm understanding that every moment is perfect. Everything is perfect as it is. Okay. And to allow ourselves emotionally that space to be where we are will allow spirit once again to move on our behalf. Okay, that's how we manifest, is when we allow things to be as they are in their perfect space. Okay, so that's Moon in Virgo opposite Neptune tomorrow. I think that it could be a really, really beautiful, inspiring aspect if we allow ourselves to understand that what we may deem as chaos, what we may deem as a mess, whatever it is that we think, whatever state we might be in, we might deem it as something less than perfection, and it is not. And if we can remember that tomorrow, then that moon opposite Neptune will gift us with inspiration and healing. All right. Then the moon is going to move on to oppose Mercury. Okay. And this is kind of like, it's kind of in the same vein because Mercury is very, very close to Neptune right now. So this could play out. Like I said before, I do like to give each individual aspect because for some people, if you are more of a Neptunian person, it might play out more in the Neptune realm for you, like in your creativity or through your dreams or through your intuition. And if you're more mercurial, like and more cerebral, it could play out, through conversations or whatever. So it plays out differently depending on what your particular planetary affinities are. So I like to go through each one. But this will probably be experienced as a chord, which just means that the energies will fuse together. It's like, like music, and you'll hear one thing. So Moon opposite Mercury is, like I said before, like the moon in Virgo is like, it's looking for this kind of emotional perfection, and we're going to be discerning. Okay. Mercury rules Virgo. Okay. And that's where Virgo's discernment for perfection comes in. Okay. That's how Virgo knows how to pull and how to do the work to bring the soul gifts of Pisces down into reality. It's through Mercury. Okay. That's how Virgo knows to do these things. Okay. So Mercury, like I said before, is in Pisces, and it's holding this concept of this dream that we're about to birth. Okay. And Mercury, like I said before, being retrograde is really, really asking us to still our minds. Okay. While also, expanding what is possible for us. Okay. As our emotional selves get really, really as we begin these new emotional cycles from a place of, internal peace. Okay. Like I said, we're understanding that we're healing from the turmoil that we've been through over the course of the last few years. And we're emotionally coming to a space of balance and understanding that we are cared for. Okay. And that we can rest. Okay, we can rest a bit. We can come down out of that state of high anxiety. Okay, understanding that the moon is going to, if the moon's meeting with Neptune, okay, if we can allow ourselves to just be in the state and become inspired, the Mercury then, all right, our concept of what we are dreaming of, okay, we'll be able to feel into that, okay, through the moon. Okay, we'll be able to feel into the best ways to prepare ourselves emotionally, the best emotional work that we can do, okay, the best ways that we can open ourselves up, the best ways, it will open up a path within us. Okay, the emotional how of this dream. Okay, and actually I feel as though it's kind of almost like a labor of sorts, like that pre-labor. Like I said, it's like, you kind of start feeling contractions. And this is, it's the preparation for when the sun hits 0 degrees Aries. Okay, this is that preparation for that. All right, and this is that concept is we're feeling it. Okay, really, really feeling into new emotional spaces and understanding what our soul's desire is and how to pull that ideal down, what the ideal feels like, okay? And what the ideal feels like within this perfection that we are in right now, okay? Understanding that everything is in its timing. Everything moves according to plan. That's Virgo. Okay. All right. And understanding that it is timing and that it is planning and that planning is perfection and that we are free to be inspired and to open ourselves up emotionally instead of closing off. Okay. Because when we close off emotionally, we close our souls off to what wants to happen for us. Okay. And spirit can't move. Okay. Soul is the vessel for spirit. When we start contracting our soul in places, spirit cannot move. Okay, so this is asking us to remember to remain open. That's the how. Okay. All right. There's a lot going on with the moon tomorrow. So I'm saying I feel like this is like that pre-labor state. Okay. The moon is then going to also trine Mars. Okay. So the moon in Virgo, like I said, this is like that discernment, that perfection, that how, okay, is going to trine Mars in Taurus. Okay, Mars in Taurus has been doing a lot of work, a lot of ground breaking, okay, or clearing, just clearing space in Taurus, clearing space in our physical areas, okay, clearing space for us, okay, and opening ourselves up to our own value, okay, and helping us to understand and take actions with our own resources. Okay, and our own resources, be it our money, our time, our talents, okay, taking what we inherently have, Taurus, okay, and understanding how to work with it, that's Mars, okay, how to use it, how to utilize it, okay, and Mars has been breaking ground for Uranus, okay, because Uranus is just getting into Taurus, okay? So Mars is really clearing the way for this dream to be born. Okay, this is how all the planets are working on our behalf right now. So Mars is clearing the way for this dream to be born. And now the moon just met with Mercury and Neptune and is now infused. And like I said, Virgo can tend to be like, the project manager of, how we get things done. All right. And is pulling this inspiration through our feelings, okay, pulling this inspiration and this concept of this dream through our feelings, and we're understanding the perfection of how all of this timing works, okay, and I'm saying especially the perfection of timing because so much is happening that we cannot see, okay. But when we open ourselves up emotionally, okay, instead of, that's not perfect and that's not perfect and my emotions aren't perfect and I don't feel right and blah, blah, blah. When we just allow ourselves to be human, okay, just human, all right? However that looks at the time, that is perfection. When we allow that, spirit can move, okay? And when spirit moves through us, okay, the moon, being our emotional self, will be able to translate that soul movement, that soul opening, the how. Okay, we'll be able to feel into how, and our actions, okay, our actions based on our resources, based on our own worth. Okay, the actions that, whatever our talents are, this is about, I feel like, practical, down to earth action and movement to facilitate this dream. Okay, it's practical action and movement to facilitate this dream. And like I said, this feels very, very much like the beginnings of labor. Okay, I cannot stress it enough. This is what it feels like to me. Something's about to be born. Okay, something new is about to be born. All right. So the moon is also going to trine Saturn and Pluto and the South Node in Capricorn. Okay, now Capricorn, we've talked about before, is our personal power. Okay, it's where we stand in the world, where we are seen in the world for who and what we are. All right, that's Capricorn. All right. And the moon is like, it's in a flowing aspect. I said before, trines are flowing aspects, okay, between two signs of like elements. So they're kin, okay, earth. All right. So this is an earth trine. It's almost kind of a grand earth trine. If we, really think about moon trining Mars in Taurus, and Mars in Taurus is trining Pluto in Capricorn still, it's loose. Okay. So that's happening. And yeah, in fact, it's happening today. Sorry, not today, Wednesday. Yeah, so moon's trining Mars, trining Saturn, trining Pluto, and trining the South Node. Okay, so all of this together, all right, Moon trining Saturn is, okay, I'm getting all of this inspiration and I'm understanding the perfection, okay, the perfection of this dream, the ideal of this dream, what it is, how I have expanded my concept, okay, because my soul is coming to a place of acceptance and understanding and letting go. Okay, letting go of needing the details. Okay, Virgo needs the details. This is not the time for that. Okay, so it's feeling into where we need to go and how we need to build. It's feeling into, and like I said, letting the divine timing work. Okay, so Saturn is providing a structure for that. Okay, it's providing a safe structure. All right, that's what Saturn does. It provides us Saturn provides foundations and form. Okay, so it's a structure for us. It's understanding on an emotional level what structures we need to allow us to let go. Okay, and to understand the perfection in what structures are around us at this time. Okay, what the structures that are coming up. Okay, we'll be able to see that because Mars is in Taurus, not necessarily building, but like I said, clearing the ground, clearing the space. Okay, we're prepping for birth. Okay, we are prepping for birth right now. All right, and I feel like this entire month of Aries, this whole spring, and maybe even the whole year, because Aries, that 0 point Aries, the energies carry over not just for the next 3 months as they usually do, but it's until this starts the year of the zodiac. So for an entire year, we're birthing. Okay, we are birthing. All right, and we're birthing a lot of different things through each stage. Every time the sun moves, we're birthing something else. All right, so we're understanding on an emotional level, from a different emotional level. Okay, how letting go, how allowing process to take place. Okay, Virgo is also nature. It's aligning with natural process. Okay, Virgo is natural process. How aligning with natural process, that's the truth of Virgo. Okay, Virgo gets distorted when it wants to know the details of every little thing. Okay, we can't know. We can't know because we don't have that perspective. Okay, so emotionally, we're letting the process happen. Okay, that's what's happening. And we're understanding, the structures that maybe even we need to tear down to allow natural processes to happen. Okay, and what structures that we need to allow to be built, okay, for us. Pluto, like I said, mining for that personal power. Okay, it's mining the roots of it. And this is building that new structure for it. Okay, building the new structures, allowing those new structures to be built for us based on our own resources, based on who we are and our inherent value. Okay, which is what Mars is activating for us, activating our knowledge of our inherent value. Okay? And when we feel that we are inherently valuable, we are more likely to trust the process. Trust the process. Trust that someone is working on our behalf because we believe that we are worthy of that. We believe that we're worthy of someone working on our behalf. When we don't believe that, then we feel like we have to control things because we don't think that people are going to do things, or that even source, or we don't believe that things are going to line up for us if we're constantly feeling that we are not worthy. Okay? We don't believe that things will line up for us. And the fact is that we are worthy. Okay? And by letting go and understanding our inherent value, understanding the value in our sheer existence. I mean, this goes beyond whether or not you can sing, dance, cook, garden, speak 20 languages, or how much money you have, or how many things you have, or whatever. It's so much deeper than that. This is our own inherent value. Okay, and understanding that the universe, because the universe loves us. Okay, the universe loves us. it will always work on our behalf, and we can trust that process. Okay. Then the moon is going to square Jupiter. All right. And when the moon squares Jupiter, this is the last aspect that the moon's going to make in Virgo. Okay. And the moon squaring Jupiter, now the moon's just come from a lot of very, pretty much pleasant energy. Okay. And squares, like I said, can be very frictional. And that friction, to me, this time, I feel as though it's kind of, it's asking, like squares ask us to grow. It's like you have to adjust something, you have to move something. It's like an itch that you need to scratch. Okay. And that square from the moon, after the moon has, all of these aspects, which is really asking the moon to let go. Okay. Jupiter is asking, all right, now have faith. Okay. Jupiter in Sag is about faith. It's about expansion. Okay. So it's like letting go and then asking us to expand emotionally some more. We've been doing a lot of this. Okay. Expand again from that understanding that we are worthy and that we can trust this process. Like I said, when the soul contracts, spirit cannot move. Okay. Sagittarius is a fire sign, okay? So we've been understanding how our souls contract, okay? And it's been opening our souls. That's really what this is birth. Okay. All right. This really is about birth. Moon in Virgo, opposite Neptune, opposite Mercury, trining Mars, trining Saturn, trining Pluto, trining the South Node. It's literally like the opening of the birth canal. Okay. It's open it up. Open up for this process. Okay. Open up emotionally for this process. And Jupiter at the very end, that's the last aspect that the moon is going to make before meeting with the sun. Okay. For the full moon, Jupiter is expansion. Okay. So it was like all prep work all day, understand the process, understand your worth, understand that the universe is working on your behalf. You don't have to know the details. Let go, be inspired. Okay. Expand, like open up your consciousness, open up your mind to what is possible for this dream. Okay. And now Jupiter is like, open up emotionally. Okay. Knowing that you are safe, open up on that soul level. Knowing that you are safe. Jupiter is about universal truth. Okay, universal law. Okay, it's our highest law. It's our highest self. Our highest selves are asking us now to open because birth is imminent. Okay, that's what's happening. Okay, and we have to let go of whether or not we think we can, we think we can't. Okay, anything that's in our minds, it's asking us, so we might come against all the reasons why we think we can't do something. It's like, okay, I've done this to this point and it feels good until somebody's like, okay, now expand upon that. And you're like, oh shit, I don't know. Jupiter's like, okay, so you just did all this prep work and you know that you have to let go and you know that you need to, you know that you need to begin to open. And now Jupiter's like, please open. Okay, so it might not feel so great, okay, but that is what Jupiter's asking us. It's open the birth canal, open ourselves up for this dream to come alive, okay, to come out. That's what wants to happen, okay, and this is our higher selves coming in. Open up for our higher self. Okay, open up for the higher version of us to come in and move. Okay, like I said, once the soul expands, spirit has more space to move within us and around us. Okay, so it's like open. That's what that moon square Jupiter is, open. And it might, if we do the work of the moon through Virgo all day, when we get to that aspect, we'll know what we need to do. Okay. And like I said, I don't know how any of this is going to feel for any of us, but I think it might be really like coming out of that headspace of, I don't know how this is going to happen. I don't see how this is going to happen. I don't understand how this is going to happen. You have to trust. Jupiter's about trust. Sagittarius is about trust. Trust in your higher power. Trust in your higher self. Trust in higher laws. Okay? This is literally about trusting the process right now. That's literally what this is about. And opening up to the higher forces within. Okay, they've been working for us outside of us externally and also working within us, but really, really working, opening within to our own higher selves and letting our higher selves move us. Okay, that's Mars in Taurus, moving us to do the work, to do the actions, okay, to build. It's allowing that higher power to come in, opening that birth canal so that we can move, we can birth. Okay? So then Mercury is also going to sextile Saturn. Okay, so Mercury, like I said, is holding this concept of this dream, is getting closer and closer to Neptune for, before moving forward again. And it's really holding that. Mercury's got the concept of this dream. And I told you the concepts they're changing, because now we can conceptualize different things. The more we open up emotionally, the more we allow our higher selves to come in and do the work that we need to do, and allow ourselves to do that work on the physical plane ourselves. Okay. Now Saturn's like, oh, okay, you've got different concepts from the last time that we met. Okay. Which was a couple of weeks ago, before Mercury went direct. Okay. So they had we understood that we were still in like that blueprint season. We're still in the vision. Okay. So like I said, once the vision became a dream, we started to see like movement. Okay. There's movement and things are starting to flow. And like I said, it's been really hands off for us. We take certain steps, we take things that are on offer to us, but it's really been a lot of hands-off stuff, okay? And it's been a lot of internal work and opening up on a soul level, okay, for what it is that we need so that we can accept, opening up on a soul level so that our higher selves can come in, so spirit can come in, okay, to us and move through us, okay? So now that we're opening up our minds and like changing the concepts of what it is that we want, from just a few weeks ago, Saturn's like, okay, we need to rearrange some new structures. Okay, so we're going to start new opportunities, okay, within ourselves and maybe even outside of ourselves are going to begin to present themselves, and they're going to be stable. New opportunities to stabilize, new opportunities to lay groundwork. Okay, new opportunities to lay foundations, to put structure around this dream. Okay, new opportunities to structure the dream is what this Mercury sextile Saturn is. So whatever the dream is for you. Okay, it's this Wednesday is providing new opportunities for structure. Okay, and like I said, I believe that is really, really coming through as the moon makes all of those aspects almost simultaneously, like within hours. Okay, the moon's going to be making all those aspects, and that really is about open. Okay, open, and then allow the structures, open up, let your higher self in, and then you can take tangible action to build the structures that need building in your life, whatever those structures might be. Okay, or even build the structures within you, to put the structures within you, so that this dream can be birthed. But this is open, okay? Venus is going to square Mars, okay? It's the next aspect. Venus is going to square Mars, and Venus is in Aquarius. And Venus has been making aspects, but they've been a lot of like adjusting aspects, okay? It's been a lot of adjustments that need to be made. A lot of opportunities that are going to be formed. Like I said, Venus is in the realm of the subtle aspects these last few weeks. Venus has really not been making a lot of very major aspects. So this is one of the major ones that Venus is making. And Venus in Aquarius is like looking for freedom. Okay. All right. We value freedom. We value freedom. We value open-mindedness. Okay. We value working on behalf of everyone. Okay. That's also Venus in Aquarius. Venus in Aquarius is way more detached, way more intellectual, okay? And our value systems are just far more expanded. You have a more expansive sense of value. It's not just about me, like I, me, mine. It's more, it's just more of like a sharing kind of Venus. I can't even really explain it, but Venus square Mars. Like I said, Mars has been in Taurus, opening up, clearing the ground for Uranus. And this square to me says that, especially after everything, Mars coming into contact with the moon and trining Pluto, this square says that there is something that we need to free, like something that we once valued. Okay, because Venus is coming in and like really changing our perspective about our value system. Okay, we have like a bird's eye view of our value system with Venus being in Aquarius. That's what I'm trying to say. We have some perspective on our value system. Okay, and the things that we have valued, the things that we do value. Okay, we can kind of see it all laid out before us. Okay, because Aquarius is the sign of perspective. Okay, and big picture thinking and vision, okay? So Venus being in Aquarius, we have this really, really clear view of what it is that we value, okay? And Mars is working very, very diligently, okay, with our resources, with our own resources, okay? The things that we have to build with, okay? Mars is working with that to clear ground so that we can birth this dream. Now, Venus square Mars, I feel like this is understanding what we need to maybe let go of, okay? So that our own worth and our own value can shine through, okay? Because sometimes, Venus, like I said, Venus in Aquarius values freedom. And sometimes Taurus can hold on. Okay, so Mars might be trying to break ground for this dream and like clear the pathway for this dream with things that do not build us up. Okay, with things that do not allow our own inherent value. Okay, or with old values. Okay, and this also goes back to the concept. Okay, this is old values. All right, we have to allow for the new value system to come in. Okay, and that new value system is going to change the way Mars is acting in Taurus. Okay, Venus is like, hey, I've got this perspective, and I think that we need to liberate ourselves from X, Y, and Z. And Mars is like, but I've been kind of trying to use that. And Venus is like, has that worked out for you? And Mars is like, well, actually, and Venus is like, yes, I think we need to put that to the side. And how about what else can we use? What do we have at our own disposal? Okay, that we can use, or who else is around? Because also Venus in Aquarius is about it. Venus in Aquarius makes very broad connections across the spectrum. So maybe we've been looking at something from too narrow of a viewpoint. Okay, that's another thing. Taurus can get really, really fixated on one particular point of view. And that's a lot of the times the rub between Taurus and Aquarius. Like Aquarius is like, I have this big broad viewpoint. And Taurus is like, I only see this right here. Okay, and so it might be where we have to really, really open up our understanding of what we have to offer so that we can call in more people to help us do the work. Okay, we don't always have to do things ourselves. All right, and that's a Mars and Taurus kind of thing. I have to do this myself, and I'll do it myself, and in this particular way, and in this particular pathway, and it's practical, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, maybe if I open myself up a bit more, I can make room for other people who have other points of view, other ideas to inform how I'm breaking ground, what I'm breaking ground on, the way I'm doing it, different ways to birth this dream. Okay, maybe that were not what you were thinking about before. Okay, and this is where I'm saying this is all like a round robin, factoring into Mercury with the concept, and then talking to Saturn about the structures. Okay, this is all of that. And it's all happening kind of at the same time. Okay, so it's we need to let go of something. We need to open up to a broader sense of what we have to offer, and then in turn a broader sense of what the world can offer us to help us birth what it is that we're trying to birth. Okay, so that's Venus square Mars. Mars during this time is also going to be trining Pluto. Okay, so this is where I was saying that I think that we will have an inherent understanding, because Pluto is in Capricorn, mining the roots of our personal power. Okay, and the roots of our personal power are kind of the resources that Mars is working with. Okay, all right, those are the resources that we have. Okay, that's what gives us our worth. Okay, it's what gives us our own inherent value. Okay, when we understand our personal power, we know our inherent value. Taurus, personal power, Capricorn, inherent value, Taurus. Okay, so we know what we have to work with, what we have to build on. Okay, and as Mars is talking to Venus about, maybe what we need to kind of liberate and the ways that we need to liberate ourselves, Mars will be talking to Pluto, and Pluto will be talking to Mars about what do we have what reserves do we have? What are our deep, deep roots of power, and how can we bring that up to use them? Okay, and Venus will be and we need to jettison this, and this, and open up to this, to be able to use these things effectively so that we can grow in our own value, grow in our own worth, grow in our personal power. Okay, so we're going to have a pretty clear understanding of what needs to shift in our lives. Okay, to allow our own value to really, really shine. Okay, and root us into our personal power. And like I said, we already talked about the sun going into Aries. So the sun's in Aries, conjunct Chiron, and the moon's doing all this, and Mercury and Venus and Mars are all doing stuff. And then the moon moves into Libra. Okay, and when the moon moves into Libra, the moon will be at 0 degrees Libra. Moon in Libra is about emotional reciprocity and emotional balance. Okay, and I've said that a lot of times. Okay, I've said that a lot of times over the course of this podcast about, just coming into emotional balance. Okay, and I feel like Wednesday, like I said, is just this preparation day. It's asking us to open up. Okay, open up to spirit, open up to our higher being. Okay, open up to what is inside of us. That's our higher being, actually. We always think that it's going to drop in from the sky. It's already there. That's our inherent worth, is our own higher self. That's our inherent worth. We usually just kind of stuff it off to the side or stuff it down, but that's our inherent worth. When we move from our higher self, our inherent powers come, our inherent talents, our inherent worthiness is there, because we know from our higher selves that's our highest truth. We are worthy. And we know what we have to work with, and we're on the path to work with that. Okay? So Moon in Libra is going to be looking now for balance. Okay, now we've opened up. Okay, and we're now, and we feel as like we understand that there is a process. There's a process happening. Okay, and we also understand our own inherent value and how our own worth, what we can build with that, and who we can connect to that reinforces and, really affirms that worth and allows it to grow, and what needs to go away. All right, what old value systems, what old values, people, things, whatever that we used to value that don't serve anymore. Okay. And then the moon is going to get full. And that by getting full mean oppose the sun. Okay. And the moon is going to be asking us, we're looking for that emotional balance. Okay. Because we're opening up. And as we open up and we allow spirit to come through, our will gets activated. Okay. And that is what's happening as we begin that process of birth. We're in the process of birthing our will into being. Okay. And that's that sun at 0 degrees Aries. Okay. And also beginning a new cycle of healing with the sun being right next to Chiron. Okay. So the moon in Libra is looking for that balance now. Okay. And we're being asked to find the balance between this force that we feel coming through us. Okay. And what it is that we want to do. Okay. And our relationship to everything else around us. And, relationship is relationship is relationship. And I've said this before. It's not just intimate relationship. It's not just, your partners. You're in relationship to everything. You're in relationship to anything that you are sitting next to, standing next to, talking with, anything you interact with, you're in relationship to it. Okay, so as we open up to allow spirit to come through, it's finding our new balance. Okay, it's finding our new balance within this new realm that we are birthing. Okay, because our dream is beginning to come true. Okay, and this is the first part of the labor process. Okay, like labor comes in stages. This is the first part. This is the first stage of the labor. Okay, and we're in the process of birthing, and we have to find balance. Okay, we have to balance out, we've been, like I said, we've come through a lot. Our souls have been in a lot of turmoil. Okay, and now it's about finding the balance within this new space. Okay, and that means new relationships will come in. New, more balanced relationships will come in, or perhaps you'll see where things have been highly unbalanced. That will be very, very clear. Okay, but this full moon, it's really, like I said, it's also about reciprocity. Okay, it's talking to Venus. Okay, Venus is the ruler of this full moon because Venus rules Libra, and Venus is squaring Mars. Okay, and asking us to let go of things that do not allow for our liberation. Okay, not like, I don't mean like liberation, like I'm setting you free, but things that are restrictive. Okay, and do not allow us to use our own, like don't acknowledge our worth, and don't allow us to grow within ourselves. Don't allow us to invest in ourselves even. Okay, things that are sucking away our personal power and our resources at the root. Okay, so it's like we're very much aware of that as Venus is talking to Mars, and Mars has to make some adjustments. We have to adjust how we act. We have to adjust how we take action. Okay, we have to adjust how we're building, how we're structuring and building our lives from this point on. Okay, because our relationships now have to shift. Okay, it's a shift, and it's putting us on a healing path. Okay, there's this spring equinox it's starting a new path of healing of us as individuals and our relationship to everything around us. Okay, and us finding that balance within to be able to recreate that balance externally. Okay? So we're coming into a space of harmony. That's what we're trying to come into, a space of harmony. Okay? And that's really what I feel like with this Libra full moon. It's, like I said, I don't usually talk about some of the subtler aspects, but this one's really important because Venus not only rules Libra, but Venus also rules Taurus, okay? And Venus is in Aquarius. And Venus is, like I said, squaring Mars, okay? But also this full moon is in an aspect to Uranus called a quincunx, okay? And a quincunx is about adjusting. Okay, what do you need to adjust? Okay, and this is because it's funneled into a lot of what we call like more major aspects. Quincunxes can be major too, but usually it operates on a very subtle level. It can be deeply frictional, okay? But something has to go. All right, and that's what Uranus, it's that adjustment is that something needs to leave. Okay, Venus in Aquarius, which is Uranus's sign. Okay, Uranus rules Aquarius. So Venus is in the sign that Uranus rules, and Uranus is in the sign that Venus rules. So they understand each other. Okay, and this full moon is bringing up, what is it that we are emotionally attached to that pulls us out of balance? Okay, what is it that we are, what value, what person, like what are we placing value on that pulls us out of balance consistently? Okay, knocks us off kilter consistently, does not provide reciprocity consistently. Okay, that we keep trying to pour ourselves into. What are we still trying to build with that does this? Okay. It's got to go now. All right? It has to go now. If there is something that is consistently knocking you off balance, okay? Something that is consistently not supplying reciprocity, okay? Something that is consistently not honoring your inherent worth, something that is consistently pulling you out of your personal power, it has got to go. Because you cannot build with that. Okay, we are in the first stages of the dream. Things have to leave now. Like I've been saying this for weeks, and it's been like prep time. And the retrograde has been make sure. Like you already kind of know, but I'm just going to reiterate for you that you do know. There's really not, it's more about making sure that you are totally good, okay, before you do this thing, okay? That's kind of what Mercury is like letting you know. It's like, here's the concept of your dream. You're so good. You don't need this bullshit. Let it go, okay? And now this is the time to cut. All right, this is the time to cut whatever that is. All right, Venus is in Uranus's sign once again. Uranus is in Venus's sign. This is about cutting things, liberating yourself from things that do not match your values, liberating things that do not value you, okay? Liberating things that no longer hold the value you once thought they did. Liberating yourself from things that used to hold value but don't anymore, okay? This is about you valuing you. Okay, and understanding that as soon as you do that, then you call in, okay? You call in all of the connections that value you too. Okay, that's what this is about. It's about calling in those connections that value you as well. Okay, and letting go of anything that doesn't. All right, because Venus rules love, okay? It rules attraction. Venus is what we attract, okay? Mars is the action that we take to pull the thing that we're attracted to us. Okay? And if anything is out of line with this dream that we're holding, okay, it needs to go now because we can take no further action on this dream until that goes. No further action can be taken on this dream until we release the things that we were attracting, because we're only going to keep attracting the same things until we let that go. Okay, and it's more even, yes, there's going to be some things that externally most definitely need to leave, but that change needs to happen within, and I think it's already been happening, but we really, really need to, I feel like it's going to kind of lock in emotionally, like, yes, inside, I know I am ready to do this now, and then things will follow suit, but we're going to be very much aware of our values and, you know, where it is that we need to go and what it is that we need to be attracting and calling in to help us build this and also start us on this new path to healing. Okay? This new path to healing of ourselves as individuals. Okay? So that's Wednesday. Wednesday's a lot. Okay, it's a lot. That's like the astrology for like the entire friggin' week. Thursday, the moon's still going to be in Libra. And Venus is still going to be squaring Mars. But that moon in Libra is going to, just kind of really just be moving through, like I said. Venus will, like I said, still be squaring Mars, but Venus will also be sextiling Jupiter. Okay, and when Venus sextiles Jupiter, we have an opportunity. Okay, an opportunity comes in because Mars and Venus will be talking and we'll be understanding very clearly after that full moon. Okay, I really got to cut this out. It's got to go. Okay, whatever this thing that I was holding emotionally, it's gone because the moon was quincunx. So we had to make an emotional adjustment. Okay, and that emotional adjustment meant liberating ourselves from some bullshit that we were attracting in because of our own wounding. Okay? All right? Because of our wounding. All right? That's really what this full moon was about. Okay, we were wounded in some kind of way, which caused us to not see our inherent worth or to value things that were not truly, that didn't line up with us. Okay? And we got emotionally invested and emotionally out of balance. Okay, and now it's time to bring that balance back by getting rid of the thing that wounded us and putting us on this path to healing. Okay, so that's the story of the full moon. And now, like I said, Venus is squaring Mars, and they're still talking about what's, how we're going to build from here with this new stuff and with our new value system intact, with our own self-worth intact. Okay, and then Venus in Aquarius, because like I said, not only does Venus in Aquarius rule like being liberated, but Venus in Aquarius likes to connect with lots of different people. Jupiter in Sagittarius is about expansion. Okay, it's about expansion and it's about freedom as well. Okay, I feel like this is about, calling in, having the opportunity to expand our value system, expand our sense of our own worth, but also expand into places where we have new opportunities to connect with people and situations that resonate with us and our inherent worth. That's what I feel like that Venus square Mars sextile Jupiter aspect is. It's like now calling in the things that are actually aligned with us, okay, to then help to birth this dream that we have. And then Friday, the moon in Libra is going to trine Venus in Aquarius. Okay, so the moon in Libra, is still kind of coming off of that and understand, really trying to work to keep that equilibrium and that balance going. Okay, and because balance is not a static act. It's a lot of little micro movements to keep things in a state, of equilibrium. A little bit poured here, a little bit poured there, a little movement here, a little movement there. Equilibrium is not a static state. Okay, it's very dynamic. All right, so we're going to be in a state of movement emotionally, okay, and making adjustments. All right, that's the moon in Libra. So when the moon trines Venus, who's been square to Mars and sextiling Jupiter and also making other adjustment aspects, adjusting us to where it is that we need to be going value-wise and who it is that we need to be connecting with, okay? We're going to have that moment of, I think, emotional stability come through, but it's through air signs. So it could be through a conversation. It could be through some kind of communication, but we'll be able to understand emotionally and intellectually, okay? And come into a state of balance within ourselves about how we're letting go and how we're moving forward, okay? And our own inherent worth and what that equilibrium feels like for us in this new state, okay? And this is a process. This is a full moon process, so this is going to play out over the next 2 weeks. But this is jump-starting this cycle for us. And I feel like we're going to kind of come to a state of okay, this is calling in this. And it could be our new relationships to people, new relationships to things, new relationships to our circumstances, okay? We'll be in a different place. And so things will need to change, okay? And that energy will be flowing. So we'll be understanding, how to keep that balance emotionally, how to keep our balance emotionally, and how to not get invested in stuff that doesn't, how to keep ourselves in that state of balance moving forward is, I think, what I'm trying to say here. Okay, moon is then going to sextile Jupiter. Okay, so moon in Libra will then sextile Jupiter in Sagittarius. So like I said, this is about, I really feel like this is a matter of calling in the new. It's really calling in the new. We're letting a lot of things go and now call in the new that we need to keep everything going. So that, I think, is Jupiter sextile Sag. Not Jupiter sextile Sag. Oh my gosh. Jupiter in Sag sextile the moon in Libra. And yes, I think that is really what that aspect is about, especially with the moon trining Venus. I feel as though it's very much about, understanding that emotional balance and that emotional reciprocity. And after everything that we just let go of, and everything that we are aware that we need to let go of, let me put it that way, because like I said, this is a process. But everything that we are aware that we need to let go of, internally and externally, it's now we're also watching the new kind of come in, watching the opportunities for the new come into us, okay? And kind of affirming that, yes, if you let this go, you now have the opportunity to call in something else. Something else is there for you, okay, that will provide the proper balance, that will provide the appropriate reciprocity, and you will always be in a state of emotion, not always be in a state, but just providing you with a state of, emotional equilibrium. And I just do want to apologize. My dad's coming to visit and he just got here. So if I kind of trailed off for a minute, I'm really sorry. My dad just came in. Then Friday, we also have the moon square Saturn in Capricorn. Okay, so this could be, like I said, okay, so I feel the moon in Libra on Friday, I feel like it's a kind of it's a sweet and sour kind of thing, because it's moon trine Venus, sextile Jupiter, yay, I know my value, and I'm preparing to let stuff go. I'm preparing to do the work. I know internally, it's this, a lot of internal nudges, okay, I'm aligning and I'm getting aligned to make the external changes that I need to make. Okay. But at the same time, and then at the same time, having the opportunities for that to be affirmed, by yes, if you open up, this is what's available. This is what's coming. These are the new connections. This is the new relationship. And then also moon squaring Saturn is all right, are you prepared? Are you ready to tear down these structures here? Okay. Are you ready to tear down these structures? All right. Are you ready? Are you ready to do this? Okay, that's what I feel like the moon squaring Saturn. Pluto is, are you, mining that personal power once again? It's like, okay, it's like getting a taste of the good and then like remembering like, oh, right, this over here doesn't feel good. This is what I need to leave. Okay, so feeling into, moon square Saturn, like I said, is the old structures, whatever old structures might still be in place that are keeping you from that equilibrium and from that reciprocity. Moon squaring Pluto, old ways that you give away your power. Okay, be made very aware of that. All right, and moon square the South Node is, once again, more old ways that we give away our power, old relationships that need to go. Okay, that's literally, it's old relationships that take away your power that need to go. All right, we need, and don't provide reciprocity. Okay, don't allow for your emotional balance or constantly pulling you out of balance. So it's like we have a taste of both worlds. Okay, and the opportunity is for the new to come in, but we need to break with the old. And it's really, really showing us the old that we need to break with. So I feel like we'll have like a very clear, like this is what's new, this is what's coming, and this is what has got to go. Okay, and that's Friday. So this will be on an emotional level. It might play out externally. I don't know. It could with with the sun now being in Aries. We might be really ready to take some action, but Mercury is also retrograde. So hold off on any actions that you think you want to take. Have that more internal alignment, okay? Because things may not come out well. People may misunderstand, like whatever. Hold off, okay? Hold off on whatever it is you think, whatever it is you want to do. Just keep getting aligned. Timing isn't right yet. Just know that these are the actions that will need to be taken. Like I said, unless the unseen hands like make it very, very clear that it's like, okay, this shit needs to go now, then by all means, it needs to go as the hands have said. But like I said, just know that this is a process, okay? And your process right now, our process right now, is understanding for ourselves our own state of emotional balance, our own state of reciprocity. Okay, that's how we keep ourselves in balance, is through that reciprocity. Okay, and if we are pulling ourselves, like anything that we do to try to maintain or get reciprocity that pulls us out of balance, okay, that's what we're working on right now. Okay, and calling in the things that just reciprocate fully so that we're in a state of harmony. Okay, and then Friday the moon moves into Scorpio. Okay, and the moon moving into Scorpio is going to change the tone a lot. Okay, because it's going from like this emotional balancing and finding that emotional reciprocity to, then Scorpio is death. All right. Okay, Scorpio is death. All right, so this may be a death within on a very, very emotional level. You may have to let something die. Okay, all right, and I'm thinking that the things like it's like moon trine Venus, moon sextile Jupiter. Okay, that's the new, and that's like all, the opportunity for the new and the more expansive and the higher, the thing that resonates with your higher self coming in. And then moon square Saturn, Pluto, and the South Node. That's the stuff that you need to let go of. And then when the moon moves into Scorpio, you need to let that die. Okay, that's what I'm getting, because the moon in Scorpio opposes Uranus. Okay, and when that moon in Scorpio opposes Uranus, what that's telling me is you need to be liberated from something, which means that death is the ultimate liberation. Okay, something inside of you emotionally, something you've been emotionally holding on to, whatever that thing is. Okay, whatever it was that we found over the course from Wednesday to Friday, because it hit you hard on Wednesday, and it hit you hard on Thursday. Okay, and it kind of hit hard on Friday. Okay, so we're very, very clear on what it is that we have been emotionally attached to that needs to die now. And Uranus will be there to help us liberate. Okay, to help us lay it to rest. to help us let it go. Okay, and that, my friends, is the ultra long version of 4 days of astrology. Yeah, so this full moon is really, really powerful. It's really, really powerful. Like I said, this is going to play out, over the course of the next 3 months, and then, on a bigger cycle over the course of the next year. Okay, because this is the start of the new astrological year. So this is a lot of, I went into it a lot because that's what Spirit had me do. But it's also, like I said, understanding our processes, understanding that there are unseen hands, understanding that we are in the process of birth. This is the first stage of birth. Okay, the waters are going to break, and we're going to, the dream is starting to come out. Okay, all right, and we're learning, what it is that we might still be holding on to that has no value to us anymore, and that needs to die so that this birth process can continue. Okay, we are birthing. This dream is us. Okay, it might be, we might be dreaming of a new partner, or dreaming of a new home, or dreaming of a new job, or dreaming of a new career, or whatever the case may be. But this dream is based on us. We are that dream that we are calling in. Okay, this is the dream of our soul. Okay, this is the dream of our spirit within our soul. It's the dream of our highest self for us. Okay, and we are birthing that. We cannot have anything that does not value us inherently anywhere in this picture. Okay, we can't birth ourselves into places that don't value us anymore. We can't birth ourselves into relationships that throw us off of balance, into anything that throws us off balance any longer. Okay, we cannot birth ourselves into things that are not reciprocal any longer. Okay, we're birthing ourselves. We're birthing a new dream. We're birthing a new self. We're birthing a new expression of our individuality. And we're birthing a new healing path. Okay, that's what we're birthing with this equinox. That's what we're birthing with this new astrological cycle. That's what we're birthing with this full moon. Okay, and coming into that balance. All right, equinox is a state of balance. Okay, and we are striving to find that balance between, and especially with Chiron being there for this new full moon, it's the balance between our divinity and our humanity. All right, that's our individuality. How much, each one of us expresses those things in a different ratio. It's coming into our own unique balance of that and allowing that to birth. Okay, and anything that says that you're too human, you're too spiritual, you're too this, you're too that. No, it's got to go. Okay, it absolutely needs to go. All right, so that we're coming into this new space of healing, this new space of allowing ourselves to find the balance between our humanity and our divinity, find the value in our humanity, find the value in our divinity, okay, and find the people and the places and the situations that support that and can help heal it, okay? So that is the astrology of the next 4 days. I did pull a tarot card for this, and it is the Six of Wands, which is Jupiter in Leo, okay? And this to me is, it's a 6, so 6s are about reciprocity. I always say that. 6s are about reciprocity. So this is about reciprocity of spirit. Okay, reciprocity of spirit, balance, equilibrium, balance within the self, balance within the spirit. Okay, and this card to me really speaks of balance between spirit and soul. Okay, that's what this card to me speaks of, the balance between spirit and soul. Okay, they are united and they are in a constant flow. Okay, and because of that, we're sustained. Okay, we're sustained. We're in a state of balance. Okay, And I feel as though this card, it's the card of Jupiter in Leo, which is its expansion of the self. The self can expand when the soul and the spirit are lined up, when they are in a balanced state. And that's what the message of, like, you know, the moon in Virgo for the next 2 days is. It's open up. It's open the soul. Unrestrict the soul. Unrestrict. Open it up so that spirit can move through. And when that happens, we come into a state of balance. Okay, we can come into that balance. We can come into that harmony. Okay, and things will move for us. Okay, from that state of harmony. All right, so I have to get my kid off the bus. I love you all. I will be back in 4 days with the new astrology for for next week and the third quarter square. If you have any, I was going to say if you have any questions. If you are interested in more about me, my work, body work, astrological readings, or tarot, please visit my website, elementsandalchemy.com. Also, check me out on Instagram at Elements and Alchemy. And the Aries Season podcast will be up on Spotify by tomorrow evening. So check that out as well at Elements and Alchemy. Take care, friends. I'll talk to you in 4 days. Much love.